to the Virtual Ball Boys podcast. My name is Chris, and I am joined once again by my good friend Matt.
Chris, do you remember that Fairly Odd Parents episode where they go to Escalator Land and they're like, "Where do we get to the ride? This is the ride."
Yes.
That's how the Endwalker queue feels.
Yeah. So it's not, as good as it seems everything's going with Endwalker, the queues have definitely been the story of the launch, unfortunately. But yeah, that's one of my favorite episodes. And also, can I be completely honest?
Yes.
I think that Escalator Land would be a lot of fun. I would be down for that, if I'm being honest, I think maybe because we're coming out, we're still in a pandemic, and maybe I'm just down for any kind of, amusement park ride of any kind. I'm kind of down for Escalator Land, Not against it.
Have you ever gone the opposite direction on an escalator?
Oh, no, I'm not down. I'm not, that's not a life I want to live.
It's not that bad. I did it when I was 13.
And you survived it, so that's good.
Yeah, clearly. I forget I think I went down the up, which I think is scarier.
I think when you say you were trying to go down on an up escalator, you mean?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I feel like going up a down escalator.
Well, going up a down escalator is more just like you're on a stair machine, like at a gym. You just gotta outpace the speed that the escalator's going to get anywhere.
I guess, but I guess you risk the fact that the momentum of the downward escalator is going to be pushing you downward, and you risk falling backwards. I guess that's where my perspective of it.
But if you're walking up, you're going to be leaning forward.
I guess so, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like I get what you're saying, because if the escalator is pushing you upwards and you're trying to lean downward, you could easily get yourself tripped up. Yeah, okay, yep. I get what you're saying. But yeah, no, I think that if you give me a ton of escalators to go up and down, make it like a museum of sorts, so at least I have a sightseeing thing, and I'll have a grand old time in Escalator Land. No doubt in my mind. Welcome everyone to the Virtual Ball Boys podcast. We are through week 13. We have 1 week left of teams on byes. Everyone will have played 13 games as of this weekend. And yeah, shit's good, man. Things are coming together in the world of the NFL for now. Let's go into our recap for this week. And game of the week was a tough choice, because I do think that there was a few pretty decent calls to make. I decided to go with the game that probably most people are going to be talking about coming away from this week, and that's Patriots-Bills. This game was... Well, look, before we even get into the game, what is your opinion on weather games? Because I feel like there's a large chunk of the football populace that's like, these are amazing. I love rain, snow games. They're amazing. They're fun to watch. But I also feel like we're missing out on some fun football.
So I am on the side of I like them, because there are how many number of football games in a season? 16, whatever 16 times
17 now.
16 times 17 divided by 2, whatever. But the number of football games. Oh yeah, I guess. Yeah, so whatever. The number of football games, there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
So when we get one that is fucking weird, I like it, because it's a change of pace, and it's cool to watch new things in a different this same thing in a different light. The wins were just fucking insane. Yeah. And dealing with and like trying to experience these coaching decisions of, hey, we're about to switch quarters, which means we're going into the wind. We need to try to get shit done now.
Yes.
That stuff is fascinating to me. We don't get that a lot of times. Also, shit like the Patriots won with 3 total passes.
Yep.
When the fuck ever else is that going to happen? It's fascinating. May not necessarily be good, but it's fascinating, and that's what I appreciate about big weather games.
Yeah, I think I lean towards you on this one. I think that there is a part of me that was just like, I do kind of wish that, like, in a weather isolated environment, I'd be curious what these two teams would have done. I think that luckily, since it's a division matchup and this is the first of them, we'll hopefully get that opportunity to see what it's like in a few weeks. But I'm with you, and it was just so wild. The winds were just out of control. The one video that you sent me of the pregame kick that kind of went against the wind and like almost went backwards. Like it was, it's wild, and it was the 2-point conversion that was in the beginning of the game when the Patriots first got their touchdown. That I think set the tone of like, all right, this is how we're going to try to play around the weather. Because it seemed like both teams were trying to play around the weather, but it seemed like the Patriots had an idea and a roadmap more so to try to figure out, how to navigate a super windy, brutal environment. And it ended up working in their favor.
Yep.
I mean, it sucked that for them that Damon Harris went down early. But they still were able to run the ball really well, and they got the job done. Are we at the point where we're worried about the Bills?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, like, part of it is the Patriots are a good team. It's not like they're going to be ever not taken seriously,
right?
Anymore. But man, like I do worry about the Bills in the grand scheme of this all. Just because I want them to win, obviously, but I also want to make sure that they're I want them to win, but you also have to just like, hey, use your eyes, right? Yeah. Use your eyes. Are they going to be actually a contender?
Yeah, it's kind of, it's rough because it's the problem is that their offense is just very one-dimensional because they can't get the run game going at all. And that's their biggest weakness. And the Patriots certainly, obviously the weather was a circumstance as well, but they did a good job of trying to defend that as much as possible. Josh Allen played the best that he could, I think, given the circumstance.
Yep.
But it's just tough. It's gonna hurt them if they can't figure out to make their offense a little bit more dynamic moving forward. And so it's something to watch. I think that we're definitely moving into territory where, like, all right, I don't think the Bills are gonna win the Super Bowl right now. They might be, they'll probably get into the playoffs at least. Maybe they still win the division. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. And it's it sucks too that, like, hey, this defense was really great. Sorry, Tre'Davious White.
All right.
Losing him really sucks. Yeah,
big loss for them. But yeah, Patriots are back, man. It is not. I think a lot of people were hoping that this was going to be more of a rebuild, take a few years to figure things out. But right now, their defense is just playing so well. Mac Jones is doing what he has to do. Even considering the fact that their offensive weapons as a whole are still not super impressive, but their running backs and tight ends are doing a good job, and then whoever's at wide receiver is just just doing the job that has been given to them. It's nothing amazing, but it's winning them football games. So it's worked out for them on that front. Blowout of the week. All right. Before I reveal what the blowout of the week is, I want you to take a guess, Matt. Which game was the blowout of the week without looking at the scores?
Okay, so you saying that makes me think that it's not Indy Houston.
So all right, so is it Indy Houston? That's my one, or is it Rams Jaguars or Jaguars Rams?
See, I thought it would be Indy Houston, but I don't remember how many points the Rams scored. So now I'm scared.
What you got? What you got? Tell you?
Oh God, Indy.
Yes, you're correct. Yeah,
okay.
I just wanted to throw it out there because initially it was tough because I was trying to read both scores. It was Colts got the victory 31-0.
Yep.
Rams won 37-7. So it was only by 1 point.
Oh, by 1 point. Okay.
That was the difference here. But yes, you're correct. You're right. It's Colts at Texans, and man, did we bury the Colts because they are playing very well.
I hope not.
I think
you know what?
We saved them, or we.
Yeah, I don't think we did. Okay, they're not buried in our last one. We definitely didn't bury them like after our second time. I just scrolled up in our chat.
Yeah,
because we were like, if there's one team that can beat the Titans, it's the Colts.
Yeah.
So yeah, Colts are fantastic. Colts legitimately might be, like, when we get to the start of the playoffs, might be a Super Bowl pick for me because of Jonathan fucking Taylor.
Yeah, it's legit. Like, it is insane what he's been able to do and what he's been able to pull off for this team. Obviously it helps though that like Carson Wentz isn't making like a shit ton of mistakes necessarily. It's helping that their defense is playing as well as it is. Like they after such a slow start for them, they've really gone into a good groove. They're great. They're really, really impressive thus far, and I appreciate what they have done in terms of turning things around here.
Yeah.
And then the chaos of the week. The Lions did it.
They did it, Chris.
They did it. I will say this was the week of every single week when we do a segment where we're doing like deep football analysis, we get fucking kicked in the fucking face.
Yep.
Because last week the Bengals were this team that we were praising up and down. At least for me specifically, I was like, yes, the Bengals are legit.
No, I was with you.
And then
I guaranteed them.
Yeah, and then they got beat to death by the Chargers.
It was weird because they were losing a lot, and then they came back, and then the Chargers beat down on them again.
Yes. Yeah. No. It was a bizarre game, and it definitely felt like the Chargers were in control for most of it, but the Bengals at least did have some life and come back a few times. So it wasn't a complete embarrassment, but it was saying like maybe they need to stop being so uneven, and they could, things will be better. But what I was getting at was that we also had. You said last week you're pounding the table saying the Lions
sure did.
We're not gonna win another game, but here we are. This is
yeah.
But like regardless, like it's a happy occasion though. This Lions team won, and especially in the fashion that they won, that it was this march down the field, trying to watching the clock tick down. You have one pass left. And it's otherwise it'll be all zeros on the clock, and you go home with yet another loss. Instead, Amon St. Brown open for Jared Goff, catches the touchdown, and the whole Lions stadium just erupts. And it is the coolest thing. If you haven't seen any clips of that moment, it's so good because it's I am someone who's always gonna have sympathy for a team that is in a rough state, that has no wins and is late in the year, and the games are just counting away from them, and they're losing the time to get a win, and they finally did it against this Vikings team, which they almost beat last time, and the Vikings broke their hearts there, and this time the Lions got the win, and the Vikings are a mess. So yeah, any other thoughts on this?
Not really. Glad for the Lions. Don't do it against the Bears, please. For the love of God. I would not be able to handle it.
Yeah. Well. Luckily, you dealt with the Lions already this year. There's no more Lions this year.
Oh, good.
For the Bears.
We already faced them twice. Nice.
Yeah. You're good. You're good. I believe. I guaranteed the Bears against the Lions. I team chaos
On
the Lions in the first matchup. And that did not work out in my favor there. But there you go. Yeah, and Vikings. Yeah, Vikings are now playing on Thursday Night Football. After that,
they sure are.
That's a rough turnaround.
2 Bears prime times in a row. Fuck.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Fuck shit.
They're really gonna be just capturing the spotlight here. Not great. All right.
This could be the worst football anyone has ever seen.
All right, Matt. Before the podcast, I was telling you I didn't want to reveal what this week's middle segment was going to be. I wanted to throw it at you, and then at this time, and we're gonna just discuss it. We're gonna have a deep discussion about it. All right. And
all right.
It spawned from something that was shared on Twitter that came from Reddit, and I thought it was
okay.
I thought it was a great discussion point. So the name of this segment is The Edibility of NFL Team Mascots.
Oh, God. Okay, let's do it.
Let's do it. All right.
Let's do it.
So.
All right, now, I need you... All right, you say the rules first, and then I'm going to say my rule.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, you say your rules because I don't have any rules.
You don't have any rules. Okay.
I was gonna just dive right in.
I want to take some inspiration from Brian David Gilbert, who in his final Unraveled about rank Pokemon based on edibility, he made a very clear point. Edibility is not a scale. Things are edible or they are not.
Right. Yes.
So we need to follow that same metric. Is it edible or is it inedible? There's no this is the most edible. It's edible, not edible.
Yes.
Do you agree to these terms?
Yeah, no, I 100% agree.
Okay.
You know, I don't think that you have to necessarily go into details. The Reddit post that was on the Reddit the Reddit post that was on Reddit. I don't know, I forget what the this was by Drop Table Students was the person's name, or I don't know for sure, but it looks like they went through MLB mascots specifically, and we're specifically, now just to be clear, we are specifically talking about the dressed up mascots unless a team does not have a dressed up mascot. Then it's just the logo or the branding that they have. All right.
Yep.
So that means
you have a list?
That means that we luckily do not have to talk about the Chiefs. We could talk about Casey Wolf. So, you know what I mean?
Okay, cool.
So we can avoid that. All right. I'm just gonna go through the AFC first, and then we'll do the NFC as the second half. All right.
Okay.
We'll start with the Baltimore Ravens, or we'll start. It would be Edgar Allan and Poe.
Okay, I don't think Ravens are safe to eat. You could eat them. I don't think they're safe to eat.
Really? Is that true?
I could be thinking of crows, but there's a type of bird that's similar. And I'm taking this from fucking That 70s Show. But they were let's have a pheasant. Oops, this is crow. Crow, you don't want that. So maybe Ravens are similar.
Okay. Also, I thought it was Edgar Allan and Poe. It's actually Poe, Rise and Conquer.
Oh, that's...
Okay, I'm sorry. So the human mascot is Poe, but that's like the Raven. Like when they say human mascot, it means like the human in the Raven costume.
Rise and Conquer are the real actual birds.
Are the real actual birds? Okay, hold on. I'm curious now. Are ravens edible?
This is just gonna be a whole segment of is this animal edible?
All right. Let's just say, in theory, it might be edible, but there might be something with them that is not, that could fuck your system up. All right, so we'll put that aside. That's Poe. All right. Next up, Billy Buffalo. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. No question. Billy Buffalo is edible. The Cincinnati Bengals, Who Dey is their mascot. It's an orange Bengal tiger-like figure.
Don't eat tigers.
They're endangered. You shouldn't eat tigers. They shouldn't be edible. I think that they are, but you shouldn't eat the tigers.
Yeah, don't do it.
Next.
The elf, absolutely.
I didn't even say it yet. The Cleveland Browns, Chubbs, Swagger Jr., and Brownie the Elf. Yes, the elf is edible. I agree with you. Yep. I'm with you on that. Chomps is the dog. You should not eat dogs. But I guess edible.
I mean, some other countries do.
Yeah.
Can you eat?
Say again?
Can you eat horses?
I think so. Real quick, who's Swagger Jr. is a live bull mastiff? Oh, that's bull mastiff. Okay.
Oh, like a real dog.
Yeah, okay. Real dog. Okay. I was just like, what's that? Okay, yeah. So then moving on to Miles. Yes, I think horses are edible.
All right, let me look. Are horses edible?
Just the really fucked up Google searches.
It's generally not eaten in the United States and usually holds a taboo.
Well, yeah, yes, I would agree with that that notion, but or is it would someone consume a horse in like other places?
Looks like it's in some cultures it's considered a delicacy, such as Mexico and Switzerland, but has some sort of taboo in America that I'd rather not go into.
Yeah, no, I
don't want to get into gross stuff.
I try. Well, no, it's I understand that, but yeah. So then in that case, Miles would be edible. Toro, the dark blue bull like figure for the Houston Texans. Yes, we addressed beef. That. Yeah, beef bulls. Yeah, forget it.
We got it.
Blue. That's the Colts mascot again. Horses.
Already talked to horse.
You already talked to horse. Jackson DeVille.
Similar to tiger.
Tiger. You shouldn't eat it. Yep. I guess it could be edible. I mean, he has a he just that outfit's just scrumptious right there, though. Let's be real. But no.
Oh, for sure.
KC Wolf. I think edible, but
I mean, I guess I still wouldn't.
No, but there you go. The Raider Rusher, which is a giant head wearing a Spike Raiders helmet with long, skinny arms and legs. Okay, so let's let's talk specifically about this thing. What the fuck is a Raiders Rusher? I need to see this in person. Oh my god!
Oh yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Holy yikes!
But do you want to eat it?
See, I don't want to eat it, but I kind of wish someone would. So just to take it away from us, just so that way we don't have to deal with it.
All right, Los Angeles Chargers.
Boltman. No, we can't.
Boltman.
We can't eat Boltman.
Nope.
It would electrify you too. You just be zapped. A teeny dolphin. Dolphins. Yeah.
I think you can eat dolphin.
It's like when people make fun of the Dolphins and they post that logo of the Dolphins logo cut up into sushi.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, like I guess in theory that would be the case.
But dolphins aren't fish.
True. I don't know. I mean,
Pat Patriot.
Yeah, Pat Patriot is absolutely edible.
Eat the rich.
There you go.
I don't know if he is rich.
All right, New York Jets does not have a mascot. Would you eat an entire airplane?
No.
All right, so not edible. Steely McBeam.
No.
Probably not. No, he probably made
too much metal. Too much metal.
Too much metal. T-Rack, a raccoon.
I assume?
I would assume, but
yeah.
don't eat the raccoon.
Don't eat raccoon.
Big Red, all right, so now we're in the NFC.
Yep.
Big Red, the Cardinal. Yeah, I think. I mean, I to me, like, I kind of was going into this thinking that any bird would be edible.
Yeah, but some just aren't good for you.
Right. Like I don't know what the standards are with the Cardinal, but I'm gonna say it's edible, but could be speaking out of term.
Sure. Same thing with Falcon. We can kind of move
Freddie
through
Falcon.
Those.
There you go.
Yep.
Sir Purr going back to our other cats here.
Similar with cats. Yep.
You don't want to. We're not maybe edible, but don't eat it. Staley the bear.
Bear meat is a thing.
So there you go.
There you go.
Staley the bear is in fact edible. How about Rowdy the cowboy?
Oh God, probably not.
I say he is.
Okay.
Saddle up Buckaroo for a delicious entree.
Jesus Christ.
Let Rory the lion figure for the Lions. Again, go cats. The cat situations. Put that there. Green Bay Packers. Yes, I mean it's cheese, right?
Yes, they're edible. They are edible. You can eat their hats.
You eat the hats. That would make sense. Rampage.
Mutton is a thing, like with sheep. So I imagine the Rams are relatively close.
Victor, the Viking. I would say, I mean, I've been kind of on the record of basically saying any of the humans are edible.
Any of the humans are edible, yeah.
But would Victor be like the least edible because of like
I guess with all the hair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of carving you gotta have to do.
Right.
Yeah. We're not endorsing cannibalism. We're just speaking truth,
Yeah.
Gumbo and Sir Saint for the New Orleans Saints.
Okay, so Gumbo, the dog, I'd say no. Gumbo itself, makes him seem a little bit more just because that is the name.
Sure, yes. Sir Saint, sure. He's edible. Sure. Why not? Weird stuff happens in New Orleans. You never know.
Yep.
The New York Giants. All right, so this is none. This team, I hate this team. So are we saying are we gonna try to eat a skyscraper, or is it actually like a giant as in like a mythical giant? This is what
I have no way of knowing.
What? Okay.
And I don't think they know either.
Hold on. We need to look up New York Giants
name origin. All right, as you're doing that, I'll knock out the Eagles and the Seahawks. Very similar. There's you probably shouldn't eat them, but you maybe could. I think eating an eagle in the United States might be a felony, so don't do that.
Yeah, definitely not. Yeah, that is definitely a felony. I'm almost certain. Yep. So it does say the original Giants derived their name from the city's giant buildings because the New York Giants, quote unquote, borrowed the name from the Major League Baseball team of the same name at the time. Okay. It is named after the giant building. So yes, you would not consume a giant skyscraper.
Giant building, no.
Yeah.
All right, the 49ers though, Sourdough Sam. I think that makes him more more easily edible, just due to his name being sourdough compared to more other humans.
Yeah, it's right there in the name. He's made out of sourdough. That's my favorite kind of bread, man. Right there. I just wanted to put him. I want to put him on the side so I could dip him in some oil. You know what I mean? It's perfect. So Blitz and Boom, for the Seahawks. Did you already address that?
I covered them. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
With the birds.
And then Captain Fear. I forgot about Captain Fear for the
Captain
Buccaneers.
Fear. Similar actually to the Vikings.
Yeah, too much hair might be an issue for edibility. And then lastly, the Washington football team. So it's an entire football team. Would you consume an entire football team?
I probably wouldn't. No.
Okay. Yeah. Now counterpoint.
Okay.
Would maybe not the entire football team, but what NFL position is would be considered edible?
I literally have no idea how to answer that, Chris. What do you take me for?
Because I would maybe argue that offensive line is pretty scrumptious.
Because they're larger than others? They got more meat on their bones?
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to really break it down. Or if you want to just, like, if you want to take maybe the more useless of the team to eat, like the punter. Just you not saying anything is going to make me laugh harder. Anyways. Matt has turned on his camera just to stare at me.
What the fuck?
Listen, man, this is the conversation point. You know, this is what's been presented to me. Anyways, I'm happy that we have dissected this and sorted this properly. I did not write this down, so you just have to, take our word for it, what we said was edible or not. It has been 2 years since we started Team Chaos Productions, and we would not be where we are today without the help of Anchor. You've heard us talk about it all the time, but let me remind you, this completely free platform gives creators the tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast from your computer or phone. Once done, Anchor will distribute your podcast to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more so you don't have to. You can also make some money on the episodes with no minimum listenership. It's everything you'd ever want in a podcasting platform. So
Hi, my name is Matthew J. Walsh, the host of the Over Heaven podcast, a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure podcast where we'll be looking at each episode of the newest animated Part 6, Stone Ocean. We'll have a variety of guests, from JoJo fans like myself to people who have absolutely no idea what's happening at all. Join us every Friday as we fill the void of JoJo Fridays and celebrate what makes this series great. Knowing what's going on is not mandatory to the listening experience, but might be recommended for a good laugh. Catch us on Twitter at OverHeavenPod or as part of the podcasting group Team Chaos Productions.
And we're back. It's time.
Are your bellies full?
Our belly, yeah. We took the time. That I'm telling you, that rowdy was just delicious.
God damn. All right, picks, please.
All right, so last week we have a development, ladies and gentlemen, because last week, with 3 disagreements, I got all 3 correct.
Ooh.
So I went 10-4 on the week. I got my Team Chaos, and I got my guarantee. So I got 7 points.
Nice.
Matt, you got you got the 7-7. Didn't get your guarantee or your chaos, so you ended up
lost
a point for the week. And now, as things stand, we are completely tied.
No fucking way.
113.80 is the record for both of us. We also both have a qualifier of -3, and we are both sitting at 30 points.
Impressive.
It is now, so with 5 weeks remaining, it is anyone's game.
So the first 13 weeks did not matter.
Perfect. Hey, it worked out.
Yep.
And that's all I want. I want a close matchup as we enter the last 5 weeks of the season. You know?
Same here.
It makes it a lot more interesting. And with that, folks, again, this will be the last week where we will not have 16 games playing. So let's go into it. The Pittsburgh Steelers.
Wait. We got something else we got to talk about first.
Oh, shit. What else? Oh, God.
Playoff clinching scenarios, baby.
Oh, let's go.
It is the season. Unless you're in the AFC, you don't get to clinch yet.
No clinching for you.
Nope. But here's our NFC scenarios. Drop my phone. Okay. All right. The Arizona Cardinals can clinch the playoffs if they win, or Minnesota, some combination of Minnesota, San Francisco, New Orleans, or Carolina all lose. I don't want to read the specifics, but if a bunch of those teams lose, or Arizona wins, they make it into the playoffs. The Green Bay Packers can clinch the NFC North if they win, and Minnesota loses, and they can get into the playoffs if they win and New Orleans, and then either this is too complicated. Basically, Green Bay wins, and then New Orleans and San Francisco lose. Green Bay gets into the playoffs, whatever. And the Buccaneers can clinch the title if they win and New Orleans and Carolina both lose, and they clinch a playoff berth if they tie and Carolina, New Orleans, Minnesota, San Francisco, and Washington all lose.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, of this list, it seems like the Cardinals are the most likely to clinch.
Yep.
It feels like with a win is definitely plausible for Monday night.
Right. So this Thursday matchup with Minnesota is going to be big.
Yeah, if the Vikings lose to the Steelers and the Vikings losing to the Steelers and the 49ers losing to the Bengals, like that's neither of those are unrealistic at all.
No.
In fact, I would say it's probably leading in those directions. But yeah, like that's I think the Cardinals are probably in the best shape. Yeah, the Minnesota game is big, like you said, because then
although if Minnesota loses, Green Bay just has to kick the Bears' ass, and they're division winners.
Yeah. So yeah, it looks like Packers and Cardinals are probably most likely to clinch. And it probably would have been easy for the Bucs this week, but you got the Bills, and that's a tough matchup. And then you also have the Saints facing the Jets and the Panthers facing the Falcons. So it's definitely the steeper climb of the three here.
Totally.
So yeah, very nice. All right, now let's get into the matchups themselves. The Pittsburgh Steelers at the Minnesota Vikings. A game of two teams that are in the smack dab in the middle of their conferences, and we don't know what the fuck to think of them because one week they seem like they're on the verge of collapsing, and the next they are winning football games maybe that they shouldn't. What do you think is going to happen here, Matt?
This is the biggest coin toss. I have no idea. I cannot tell who is going to win a football game between either of these teams on any given week. I'm going to choose the Steelers out of spite for the Vikings losing to the Lions. But I legitimately can't tell.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. This is a very difficult matchup. I'm with you. I think I'm going to go with the Steelers just because I believe in the defense. I think TJ Watt is an MVP candidate. Should be.
Not just Depoy, but
I know. I think he should be an MVP candidate. He's,
nice.
I think, single-handedly doing so much to keep the Steelers in it right now. And I think that is going to be tough for the Vikings to kind of combat. Justin Jefferson's also having a fantastic year. Even in the Lions game, he had a really good game. But I still think that the Steelers defense is going to do enough to rattle Kirk Cousins. And it's in prime time, and we know how Cousins is.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right, Baltimore Ravens take on the Cleveland Browns. Baltimore coming off of a crushing loss. They also lost Marlon Humphrey for the season. Brutal pec tear. Browns coming off of their bye, sitting at 6-6. Do the Browns have any shot?
So I have here selected Cleveland, and I don't know what my reasoning was initially for that. Mm-hmm. I feel like this is weird things happen when you face a division opponent twice in 3 weeks. We've seen it before, and I think that's why I'm going to stick with the Cleveland Browns as a pick here. Mm-hmm. I think they're coming off of a bye. I think the Ravens are coming off a rough loss, and they also just lost Marlon Humphrey for the rest of the season. I think that's going to play a big factor. I think Cleveland has this here. I'm going to go with Cleveland.
Yeah, it's weird. I still feel weird about the Browns overall.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, I think I'll stick with Baltimore for this one, but it's not. It's closer than you would usually think.
100%. Yeah, no, this is. I think it's just for me. It's like just schedule placement. That's weird, and it's if it's maybe a little bit further out, I would maybe lean more towards the Ravens, but I think the Browns might be able to do something here.
Cool.
Jacksonville Jaguars, excuse me, at the Tennessee Titans. The Jaguars are still bad, and the Titans are coming off a bye after they've been tumbling a little bit, but can they bounce back in this game against the Jags?
I think that this will be a good game for them to win.
Yes, they should be. They should be able to.
Should be. Yep.
I am with you on that. I'm picking the Titans.
All right. Kansas City Chiefs take on the Las Vegas Raiders at home. Chiefs on a really nice hot streak. The Raiders, again, another 6-6 team. There's so many like middle of the road 6-6 teams.
Yep.
It's hard to tell where they actually are and how good they actually are. How will they match up against Kansas City?
I think that this Vegas team is falling into exactly what we've seen from the Raiders in past years, where they start out strong and we think that they are going to be this kick-ass team, and then they start to fall apart at the end. I mean, we saw last year that the Raiders beat the Chiefs in their stadium, and the Chiefs offense still is not looking like it can like win games on its own like it used to.
Right.
But I still think that the Chiefs are going to win this game. I think that they are just playing very well on defense. This defense is, they kind of have the same formula that they've had in recent years, where the defense kind of starts to really pick up steam near the end of the year. So I think the Chiefs will do it.
Yeah, I think so too.
There you go.
Very easy.
Saints, New Orleans Saints at the New York Jets. The Saints coming off the Thursday night football game where the Cowboys beat them pretty fairly. The Jets lost to the Eagles last week. Now these two teams who feel like they're kind of just riding the wave into the offseason at this point. What do you think's going to happen?
Saints may get Taysom Hill back for this game, which would be nice. I don't think it's a guarantee, but there's a good chance. Zach Wilson actually looked pretty good. But I think I'm just sticking with the Saints out of principle.
Totally understand that. Yeah, I'm going with the Saints as well. It's tough because I feel like if Alvin Kamara was out again, I'd lean towards chaosing the Jets here. This was my other option for chaos, but I do think that the Saints are. I think that they should bounce back in this game. But granted, they have not won a football game since they took down the Buccaneers.
Since October?
Yeah, so this might be their best shot at doing so, but it's a hard pick to make at the same time.
Totally. Next up, we have the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Washington football team. Cowboys not looking lights out like we thought they would be. Washington football team having a resurgence, now 6-6. How's this game going to match up?
This is probably a fool's errand, but I'm going to team chaos the Washington football team. I feel like this is a team that has somehow, even without its best defensive player, is turned it on defense big time. And I think that some weird stuff has been happening with the Cowboys in terms of off the field COVID stuff, that maybe the argument could be made that they might not be ready for this game. Even if you do see everyone on the field, maybe Washington football team could come up with a nice game plan. It's in their building. And they took down the Buccaneers before, so I could see them maybe doing the same thing to the Cowboys. So I'll go Washington football team. Chaos.
Cool. I will. I'll take the Cowboys, but I like the chaos.
Yeah. Atlanta Falcons at the Carolina Panthers. Both teams 5-7. Panthers coming off of a bye. Falcons. Who did they play last week? Actually,
Bucks.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yep.
It's very forgettable because they got handed the Bucks. But now these two teams will face for another time. The last matchup, the Panthers won it in a close game. What do you think is going to happen?
I think that this one's tricky. I'm going to lean the Panthers. But man, what happened to this team? I'm so sad.
Yeah, I'm with you. I feel like the Panthers should win this game, but it's the defense isn't playing what it was, and of course CMC just being out.
Yep.
And Cam Newton not playing what I think a lot of people would hope he would play as.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot of layers, but I think coming off of a bye with the Falcons here, I think you win. I think you take the game.
I hope so. Next up, Seattle Seahawks taking on the Houston Texans. Weird matchup. Seattle managed to get the win last week. Russ seems to be better, although they ran so much. And Houston could potentially run so much on this team. How do you think the matchup is going to go here?
It is an intriguing game because you would look at this and be like, it's probably the Seahawks, but the Texans can just be weird sometimes and show up in games that they shouldn't. I'm gonna go Seahawks, but I don't know. Is this a chaos for you?
No.
Okay.
Tempting, but I'm gonna stick with the Seahawks.
Yeah, no, I agree. The Detroit Lions at the Denver Broncos. Of course, the Lions coming off their first win, and the Broncos, their defense is trying to carry an offense that just is not functioning. What do you think is going to happen?
What if they won again, Chris?
Yeah,
what if they get 2 in a row? Team Chaos in the Lions.
I love it.
Not a ton of reason behind it, just, hey, what if it happened?
Hey, well, and I will say, like, the Lions are a team that has a lot of heart, and that's something that can't be measured with stats. I mean, just fucking, just all the cliches. I will go with the Broncos because Denver just tends to be a tougher environment to play in, and I think Denver's still like a fringe, like they're a good bad team, and I feel like the Lions are a bad team, unfortunately.
All right, the New York Giants take on the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers playing very well, but their offense turns off sometimes. Giants potentially quarterbacked by Jake Fromm.
Fucking Christ.
Does that have any chance to stop the Chargers?
No fucking way. Yeah, I am believing in this Chargers team. That was a very important win to get against the Bengals because they were on the verge of skidding big time. This is a game that I think that the Chargers can really kind of just start to build they play next week. Next week is Chargers Chiefs again. So
oh boy.
This I think they really should want to get another win under their belt before going into that big matchup on Thursday night. So, I'm gonna go Chargers, and Giants, forget it. I blow the whole thing up. I am ready for this thing to be done with.
I feel that. I'm also going Chargers.
There you go. San Francisco 49ers at the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals, speaking of the Chargers, got beat by them. The 49ers was played close with the Seahawks, but somehow the Seahawks still got them. What do you think's going to happen?
Okay, I need to check. Okay, this might be a conditional pick for me.
Okay. What's going on? What's happening?
I don't think Deebo Samuel is going to play.
Right.
If he does, I would lean the 49ers. I don't think he is, so I'm going to go with the Bengals.
Yeah, I think regardless, I'm going to give this to the Bengals. I think that I still have faith in this team. I think that they have had just some weird matchups that they've had that they lose. Some weird ass games that they shouldn't. This is a more even matchup for them, and I think because it's perceived in that way, I think the Bengals take care of business, and it's in their building, so I'll go Bengals.
Cool. All right, next up, Buffalo Bills take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is a big one. Potential, I don't know, potentially Super Bowl matchup. We'll see. Both teams have some weird losses. Tampa Bay seems to be a bit more settled at the moment. Who do you think is going to win between them?
I really hope that the Bills gain some sort of momentum or anything just to kind of get back into, being being one of the toughest football teams to play, because this has just been a brutal stretch for them in the second half of the season. I think that the Bucs are going to do it, though. I think it's so hard to beat this team. I know football team did it, though, so I don't know. Who knows? But Tom Brady, he's a Bill killer. He's always been, and I think that is why I'm going to guarantee the Buccaneers.
I am also guaranteeing the Buccaneers.
There you go. Perfect.
I wasn't expecting that from you, so I was going to get into saying that. I hope the Bills play well.
Yeah.
But it's so hard to see them do it here.
Yeah. No, this is it's the worst case scenario for them to have the Chiefs, to have the Patriots and the Buccaneers in back-to-back weeks. It's just a brutal stretch for them.
And they're close to 500 if they lose this.
Yep.
7-6, man, that sucks for them.
Yep, big time. The Chicago Bears at the Green Bay Packers. NFC North balance, Sunday Night Football. Why the fuck was this not flexed out? Who knows?
No.
It's probably maybe ratings. Maybe they're considering ratings. But is this the first time these two teams are playing this year?
No, it can't be. No, this is the second time.
Yeah, because I don't know. I feel like I completely forget what the first time was, but I'm guessing
24-14 in the middle of October.
Yeah. Okay. Packers have just been so dominant at home, and the Bears are going nowhere. So I'm easily picking the Packers here.
No hope for me in the Bears right now.
Yeah. No, it's unfortunate. And last but not least.
Last up, Monday Night Football. The Rams take on the Cardinals. Really important matchup here for the division and potentially for the playoffs as well. I think the Cardinals have a really good shot of just putting it away in the next couple weeks if they can win this. Rams, do they have anything left? We're able to beat the Jaguars. Can they continue it?
I would feel like this would be a harder matchup to pick if the Rams have been a little bit more stable and a little bit more competitive in their last few games. And yeah, they took down the Jaguars, but it's the Jaguars. So it's kind of like a throwaway easy win. Everything else has just been a struggle for them. And I feel like against the Cardinals team that just feels like it's like this, now that they have 2 losses, like they're this overlooked sleeping giant in the NFL playoff race. I feel like the Cardinals are in position to really take a knockout punch to this Rams team and not only get their first, be the first team for a playoff berth, maybe, unless the Packers do first, or potentially try to pave out their way to at least winning the NFC West. I think this is where they do it, and I will pick the Cardinals.
I think so as well. Now that Kyler and Hopkins are both back, this team is going to be fucking on top of it. Definitely. Really like the Cardinals here.
There you go. All right. So, magic number is 3.
3, yep.
So we are... it's the Ravens, Browns, and then our team chaoses, which is the Dallas Cowboys, Washington football team versus Dallas Cowboys, and then the Lions versus the Broncos. So very nice. All right. So once again, this week no VBFL. It is wedding season once again because Kelsey and Anthony are having their real wedding this week. They're at least what they were hoping their wedding was going to be.
Right.
it is. They've been legally married for a year, but this is it. This is the ceremony that they wanted. So very busy this weekend. It's gonna be a lot of chaos and fun, but I am super excited for them. Next week next week, Matt, it's bowl season, baby.
Ooh.
So you know what that means. We're picking bowl games next week.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so we have a total of 42 bowl games. 42 bowl games to pick, including maybe a national championship.
Fun.
So, do either of us know a lot about college football? No. But
Not
are we
really.
going to pick it anyway? Absolutely, because it's fun.
Yeah.
So that will be our mid-segment, but of course we'll be back to recap Week 13 and give our picks, recap Week 14, and pick games for Week 15. And that's going to be a loaded week as well, because you're going to have, that's your first set of Saturday games next week as well.
Ooh, yeah.
So, there you go. And just to keep on reiterating, we have the Over Heaven podcast, which is will have its second episode later this week. The first episode is up. It has both Walsh hosting and myself guest starring, talking about the first episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Stone Ocean. And I know that he will have a special guest this week as well. I believe he recorded it today. Also, there is another podcast in the works. That I can't give much detail on because it's very early on, but it is the hosts are two people that aren't used to hosting podcasts.
Nice.
So very exciting. I've been seeing some of the work happening behind the scenes on that front. But we'll see when that goes live. Probably not this week, but
no,
in the coming weeks to come. So very nice, very exciting times. But again, thank you all so much for listening, and we will see you next week.
Good night and good ball. Virtual Ball Boys has been brought to you by Team Chaos Productions. Find us on Twitter at Virtual Ball Boys and find more of our work at Team Chaos Pods.